All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Blind View here on Rumble. And here's our host, Miss Rebecca.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I've been having some technical difficulties. I only use my computer once a week these days when I do my show. And I always forget that when I first turn my computer on, it wants to do all kinds of crazy updates. So it was.
Wow. Becca, that was beautifully timed. You came in clutch, girl. That was beautifully timed.
Yeah, because Gina just said, okay, let's go live right now. And then you showed up. Like,
oh, really? I thought I was super duper late. I'm so sorry, you guys. So you guys haven't been doing the show without me?
No, but we were just sitting here chatting, waiting on you. And then we just decided to go live, and then you showed up. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been trying to get in, but like every time I tried to go to my email, my computer would interrupt me with all these crazy updates. And I don't know how to stop it from doing JAWS updates. And so I just said, go ahead and do it. And then it was like at 99%, but then it had to restart my computer, you know. Oh my gosh. It was,
well, you can always
took a while.
You can always say later. Like there's an option to say later or not now or whatever the option is.
Yeah, but I think it was already in the middle of the updates because it said it was like at 98% and said don't turn off your computer. You know, I think it was too late for that. I don't know, but anyway, I just need to start using my computer more often. When I was writing before, of course, I use my computer all the time, but now I only use it when we do the show once a week. So,
well, in any event, welcome to your podcast.
Thank you, Paul. It's nice to be here. So I hear Anya and Paul. Is Brandon with us?
I am.
He sure is.
Was that Brandon? That didn't sound like Brandon. That sounded like Paul again.
No, Brandon is here.
Oh, Brandon is here. Okay. So does everybody know what they want to talk about? Are we ready to get started? I would like to get started with what's going on with the FCC. Did you guys see what the Federal Communications Commission announced?
I have not yet. Do tell.
So
I don't think I know.
Oh, they're wanting to. I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure they can't just say we're going to do this and do it, but there's talk that they're trying to do away with a law that was put in place way back when President Reagan was in office in the 1980s, where President Reagan back then was concerned about one side or the other getting a monopoly on the airwaves, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Huh.
Do you guys understand how important it is that we have free? That like back then, President Reagan passed a law that any one broadcaster like NBC or CBS or ABC or NPR, you know, any one network can only own like 36% of the broadcasting licenses in the area or something like that. And he put something in. I mean, I may not know the details exactly right, but what I can explain to you what it does. He put something in place just to prevent one side from getting a monopoly on all the airwaves, so that the American people are always able to get both sides of an issue. You know what I mean?
Oh, so
and now the Federal Communications Commission is trying to diminish the effectiveness of that law by, I don't know, rewriting it or tearing it completely down or ignoring it. But it's really important, I think, that we have some controls like that in our media so that both sides can always be heard. You know what I mean?
Well, I haven't heard that announcement yet, but it doesn't sound like excuse me, doesn't sound like the Trump administration would do something like that, like to take away. I mean, there has to be more detail to it.
I didn't say it was the Trump administration. I said it's the FCC. And right. I'm not sure who's running the FCC right now. I don't know if Trump has replaced the person.
I think he has. That's what I said.
Yeah, but someone named Carr. Was it Brandon Carr or somebody? Is the guy at the FCC that's doing it, I guess. So,
well, and I think this might also kind of tie into, you know, Trump recently said, "Oh, I think you should really take their license, right?" But the FCC in that case came back and said, "Listen, like we don't control the media like that. Like we don't take the licenses of people in the media just because you don't like what they say. Like we don't do that." So.
But don't you think they should have been more stricter with what is it, MSNBC or which network edited Kamala Harris's interview to make her sound less dumb? That
You know,
they shouldn't be doing that. It should be punishable.
I believe that was CBS or 60 Minutes that did that.
Yeah.
But I think it's the what is it? I think it's the British Broadcasting Network or somebody over there. They did the same thing to a speech that when Trump spoke on January 6th, they twisted his words and they edited the footage, and they showed like clips from two different speeches and made it look like it was one speech so that it warped what he actually said.
Yeah,
so it's not just CBS doing it over here, but it's also the British Broadcasting Network or whatever.
Well, I don't know how much jurisdiction we have over the Brits, but
yeah, I agree with that.
Locally, I mean, you can't do that. You can't call yourself a nonpartisan, which you clearly aren't for all other reasons. But you can't just come and take the favorite candidate and edit their interview like that.
I think when you are, because CBS, and I'm pretty sure it was CBS, and I think it was, like I said, 60 Minutes on CBS that did that. But I feel like when you're one of the major broadcasting networks like ABC, NBC, or CBS or Fox, I think you need to be held to a higher standard because the majority of Americans are watching one of the major networks, right? So if they're going to be lying and doing shit like that to deceive the American people, like being deceptive like that, I think that's a huge crime. And I think Trump has every right to go after CBS and any company that does that stuff.
Well, I think it's all on how you look at it. There's people who, that I've certainly talked to, and they'll tell you that they, never watch a certain network because it's just a network full of lies. And depending on who you talk to, none of, whoever they're opposed to, they're going to disagree with. So I think it would be very hard to, I'm not going to say police that, but I do think it'd be very hard to kind of police that, because the news now, it's more about an opinions now, as far as I can tell, than really about actually reporting proper journalism. So it'd be really hard to, I think, put a law or anything like that into place, because, I mean, the news edits stuff quite a bit, for the better or for worse. They do a lot of that. All the networks do it. I've seen that firsthand, as a matter of fact. And, if they want you to look good, they'll make you look amazing. If they don't want you to look good, they'll make you look real bad. And I can say that for certain because I've seen that.
Well, and what I don't like is how much they seem to collude together. Because what I've seen that troubles me is a lot of the major news networks will just literally almost word for word say the same thing.
I know. I've seen the clips.
Yeah, that's weird, man. I mean, because it's almost word for word.
But don't you think that they would be smarter not to be copycats of all the other networks, that they would try to stand out and be different so that maybe more viewers would go watch them just because they're different?
Not any.
Oh, absolutely. I'm one of those viewers. Yes, absolutely.
They should be, but Brandon put it out. Like, I saw a bunch of clips online when they played little pieces from like covering the same story from different networks, and then they repeat pretty much the same thing word for word. Just free.
Yeah.
Well, and in this case, it was a question that was asked to. I don't want to get the title wrong here. I certainly don't, but I think he's the royal prince right now of, was it Saudi Arabia? And a reporter asked him a question, and that's when Trump said that. And my thought was just, President Trump, I'm quite sure the royal prince can answer for himself. I don't think he needs you to answer for him. Why not just let him answer?
I think Trump just gets tired of our media trying to take pot shots at people. He's been the victim of our media on several occasions himself for unfair attacks from our media. And so I don't blame Trump for standing up for a foreign dignitary that he has as a guest over here who's being harassed by our media.
Well, 99% of coverage of Trump's first presidency on CNN specifically was negative. 9%. That's just, I mean, you cannot call that network nonpartisan. No,
and that's why we
Go ahead.
That's why we call them the Clinton News Network. It's supposed to be Central News Network, but that's why they've been given the moniker by people like me who are moderate right as the Clinton News Network. It's like you can't have 95, 96, 98, 99% of your coverage skew one direction and have us continue to believe that you are a central news network. No, you're not reporting the news. Like Paul said, you're reporting your spin on it.
Your opinion, yeah. Paul wanted to say something.
But does that particular network claim to be a nonpartisan network? Because if they do, I wouldn't say they do a very good job at it. You definitely know which way they lean.
I think he's talking about CNN.
That's what I mean.
I think Brandon specifically said CNN, and I believe CNN does claim to be nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that CNN considers themselves to be nonpartisan.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's opposite of nonpartisan there.
Well, aren't all journalists supposed to be nonpartisan? And I just assume maybe CNN doesn't claim to be nonpartisan, but I just assume that all of the news networks would claim to be nonpartisan, because isn't that supposed to be the intention when they set out to deliver the news, is go figure out what the news is honestly and deliver it honestly without their own political slant on it?
That ship has sailed.
Well, there's nothing 100% nonpartisan. I have to say that, because you can't even tell a story without putting your own spin on it, to put your feel and your opinion into it a little bit. There's nothing nonpartisan, but you don't have to be 100%, so bipartisan. I mean, sorry, so nonpartisan. What am I saying? You know what I'm saying, right?
So partisan, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you say only negative, you know what you're doing. You know that you invite people.
Oh yeah, it's like if you say that you did something that someone else actually did, you're materially changing the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
I told you we were lost.
Hello?
Gonna have to reset this leg, my young friend.
Where is Mateo?
He never came. They never showed up.
We're happy to help people like you, but it isn't safe to be out there wandering.
I see you two enjoyed our world-famous ribs.
How many times have I told you, kids? No cartoons after sundown.
I don't know what kind of sick fucking games you two are playing down here. Carol and I really liked you two.
I really love that movie, and it was so much fun being in that movie, and basically let you write your lines, right, as long as they go along with the story. And it was so much fun delivering my lines in that movie. I cannot wait till we show it to the world.
That's cool. Are we done with that FCC topic? Because I have a topic. I have a question to ask.
Maybe what's your topic? What's your question?
My topic. Okay, I'm not too knowledgeable on this. I've just seen bits and pieces on Facebook and stuff like that. So something is going on with Jaws and Aspero company. You guys know what I'm talking about? I know NFB is really upset with Aspero leadership that they pushed out the main developer of Jaws.
Did they?
Yeah. So there's something really weird going on there. Did you guys hear about that?
I have not heard about that. So you mean Vispero, right? Vispero. That
Sorry, yeah, I mispronounced it. Yeah.
That's a company that bought out Freedom Scientific, and I believe is a holding company.
Yeah.
Because they also bought out AI Squared, and so now they're all subsumed under the banner of Vispero.
So I can tell you guys what I know about it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So I when I first became a JAWS user, it was Freedom Scientific when Vispero was never around, right? And I remember back then when we would call in for technical support, we would hear like the person that was helping us on the other end of the line was clearly another blind person because we could hear their JAWS going on their computer or their screen, whatever screen reader they were using, we could hear it while they were helping us, right? And I found that the first time I called Freedom Scientific, I was really shocked and I was pleased by that. I thought, wow, they have blind people working there. That's really cool. And then over the years, as I learned more about Freedom Scientific, I found out they had a lot of blind men and women working there. And they were like, Freedom Scientific's products are made to to make it easier for blind men and women to do their jobs, on a computer and stuff, right? So, and Freedom Scientific was also, like I said, employing blind men and women in their tech support department and stuff. And I suspect in their sales and everything, right? But I just know that I was really impressed with that when Freedom Scientific did it. And then several years ago, I started hearing about this Vispero or whatever it is. And someone told me that was the company that had bought out Freedom Scientific. And I haven't really called since then, but I've been watching videos and stuff on Facebook of other people, and they're saying that what this new Vispero company or whatever it's called has done is they fired a lot of the blind men and women that Freedom Scientific had working there, and they've replaced them with sighted people. And sighted people don't understand the concerns of a blind user on the computer, and therefore it's affecting the quality of the upcoming JAWS updates and programming and stuff. So I'm really concerned about it because I've been using JAWS for years. And if we lose the quality in it, and if we're not able to get the kind of technical support we used to get because we're talking to a bunch of sighted yahoos who don't understand anything about JAWS or screen readers, it's going to be really frustrating. So I'm kind of concerned too,
Somebody wants to speak. Go ahead.
I do think that it's very important to have blind people, working with assistive tech, especially if it's in that field or designed to help the blind and visually impaired. I don't have an issue with having, sighted people working on it, but if they are getting rid of the majority of it, I would say I wouldn't appreciate that. But keep in mind that the individuals who created WindowWise, which is now defunct, those two individuals was both sighted, which is amazing to me because they did make a phenomenal screen reader, in my opinion. So I do think overall, Becca, that I do agree with you that most sighted people, yes, do not have much concern for people that are blind on the computer. But I think if you can find the right ones, and I said can find the right ones, notice I said that I think you could actually make it work. But if they're firing the majority of them, I don't think I would want that.
Well,
it's interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Anya.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that I don't think this is the main issue of what's happening with JAWS, although this is very important if that's the case. If they're firing people from Vispero. But what I've been hearing is what they are trying to do. They are trying to, we're already using JAWS on subscription basis. Like you cannot own it. So they're going to go a step further. It's like, I think you would need to be able to have an account. You have to go to an account and sign in and access JAWS or something. But they also, remember guys, you guys didn't go to convention. But this guy, before they pushed him out, Glenn, whatever his last name is, like the main developer, he was talking about new features, AI features that they're going to incorporate in JAWS. And he was doing the demo to show how much easier it would be to navigate web pages and read images and stuff like that with JAWS. What they are trying to do now is to set a 2-tier or 3-tier system. So if you're basic subscriber, you pay some cost, but if you want to use more advanced features, you have to pay more and more.
Oh.
I think that's what one of the issues with it is.
Well, I think NVDA, while it's not used professionally, it can get the job done in a lot of different ways. And personally, that's what I do use. I don't actually use JAWS personally at this particular time because most of what I can do with NVDA. And if I can't, that I use Narrator. I do have JAWS on my computer, a 40-minute mode version, in the event that I should need it. But I do think that NVDA did really take a big bite. Yes, the pun was important there. Out of JAWS's shares, because for a time, JAWS was really the biggest screen reader next to WindowWise, and then WindowWise kind of disappeared, and now we have NVDA, and NVDA is really gone along and gotten so much better in the last 15 years. So the Freedom Scientific or Despero has to get their money somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's interesting that you went to the whole WindowWise thing, Paul, because I personally was a WindowWise user for years. I mean, like a decade. And I can say that Vespero, when they, subsumed all of these companies as a holding company, they did dissolve the company that used to be called GW Micro. And their rationale was, listen, we don't need two products that do the same thing. WindowWise is a screen reader, JAWS is a screen reader. And kind of like what you're saying, the thinking was, like, a lot of colleges and a lot of businesses that do use a screen reader use JAWS. So we're gonna dissolve GW Micro. So Despero did shut down WindowWise. And I feel for those people. Now, guys, hold on, because I want to clarify a couple other things that you guys are saying. So JAWS 2026 just dropped yesterday, November 18, 2025. So as it pertains to this guy, are you guys thinking of Glenn Gordon that used to do FS Cast? Yes. I thought that he retired and voluntarily relinquished FS Cast and associated duties to the current guy. What's his name? Igor? I think I could be mistaken. But I think he's doing a good job too, though, because the current FS Cast host, has been using JAWS for a long, long time as well. But I didn't think that there was any kind of like hostile takeover. Are you guys saying, that somebody got like fired, like Vespero terminated someone?
So I heard that Despero is cutting back on their staff by laying off blind employees.
As of when? When did that become a thing? I haven't heard anything about it.
I've just been seeing it online the last couple of days. They were talking about it on Facebook just today. I was reading on it about that's how I knew. Who was it? I think it was Anya that brought it up. That's how I knew what she was talking about, because I saw it on Facebook today. There's a lot of people that are upset because Despero is firing a lot of the longtime blind employees that work for Freedom Scientific. And I liked those. I really I felt very comforted as a blind user when I would call them up for technical support, knowing that it was another blind person on the other end of the phone. So they would understand my issues. I didn't have to feel awkward or uncomfortable about admitting that I couldn't see something on the screen, And so and this kind of concerns me because I've been a JAWS user since Freedom Scientific years ago, right? And I haven't really dealt with this new Despero company much, but I've heard of them. I've heard of them for probably 10 years now. I don't know when they took over, but it's been a long time.
Well, Despero, as far as I understand it, were pretty nice because, again, they didn't do a hostile takeover. So they took basically ownership of the companies, but they left everybody there, because at the time, they basically said, look, we're not screen reader developers, but look, you guys need money, we'll give you some capital infusion. Okay, but we don't make screen magnifiers, we don't make screen readers. You guys can keep doing what you're doing. But what you're saying is that I guess recently, and it's just really weird because JAWS 2026 just dropped yesterday. That's a major version, right? And so, but now, right now, they're making personnel change. Wow.
Yeah, they're pushing out this guy, and I saw his post. Not like I follow him or anything. Somebody reposted his message, and he was saying that I don't want to misquote him, but basically he said he's retiring, but he's forced to retire. He's not ending his career for good, but he just does not want to continue working with a company whose views are not aligned with his in terms of development, development and stuff like that.
Wow.
Well, that is concerning. That is kind of concerning, but I'm positive that there's a lot more behind the scenes things that we'll never know about. So that is, because a lot of times when there's, that kind of thing when it comes to the workplace or even in personal situations, you go through a bad breakup or something. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't know. So if in fact this is really happening, though, that doesn't make me super happy about it.
Well, I think it's a big enough issue that Mark Riccobono, the president, wrote a letter.
What did Mark Riccobono do about it? You kind of faded out.
He wrote a letter.
Oh, he wrote a letter to them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a big enough issue that NFB, he wrote an open letter, I think. So it's not on Facebook.
Yeah, that sounds like something the NFB needs to do and should do. So I'm glad Mark Riccobono did that. Yeah, it's really concerning. So does everybody on the show here use JAWS?
I do.
Professionally.
I do.
I use it, but I also use NVDA as well. So NVDA, I agree with Paul. NVDA is a very, very capable screen reader, and you can get it totally free. But I don't think that represents what it's capable of. It's really quite capable.
You mean just because it's free doesn't mean it's secondary to JAWS?
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's the wrong way to look at it. So I do primarily use JAWS, just again because that's what you're going to have to use if you work for an airline or a hotel, or if you go enroll in college, they're probably going to have JAWS on their systems if you are so lucky. But I do also use NVDA.
But the nice thing about NVDA is it is open source, so their keystrokes are very similar, if not pretty much the dang same, for a lot of applications as JAWS. That way, they don't have to go through the legal battle that Freedom Scientific and GW Micro went through in 2010, when GW Micro got sued by Freedom Scientific and won because Freedom Scientific thought that JAWS or GW Micro, took something or did something with one of their key commands. So.
But how NVDA got away with it?
I beg your pardon?
How did NVDA got away with it?
I think it's because they're open source, and you're not paying for it either when you download it. It's a free software.
So is it nvda.com that a person goes to download that?
nvda-project.org.
Okay, so for our viewers who would like to check it out, it is free. So does it come with instructions?
It does.
Okay, cool. I've never used NVDA. So
it'll be just like a regular .exe file. So once you install it, it'll tell you exactly what to do, and you'll hear a kind of a clicking sound, much like you hear with
JAWS.
That it's downloading or installing, and then you'll be ready to go. So
cool.
I will tell you, in JAWS's defense, because I have talked a lot about NVDA and gave it very high praise, is I think really having both screen readers, which is why I have a 40-minute version of JAWS, is important, because in some ways NVDA is going to do things better. In some ways JAWS is going to do things better, and you just don't know which one it's going to be. So if you have a weird, complicated PDF or something like that, maybe JAWS might handle that better than NVDA. Maybe Narrator might handle it better than both of them. You just don't know. So I think it's important for everyone to have as many of them on their systems as possible.
Yeah.
The issue that with Narrator, though, guys, is Microsoft only officially claims to support Microsoft products with Narrator. So Office, Edge, but if
Outlook,
you're going to use Narrator like Chrome or Firefox, it may work, but Microsoft does not claim to support that, whereas NV Access and Vespero do try to offer broader support.
Well, what's interesting is going back to what you said, and I know we don't have to touch on this. I know there were some other topics people wanted to bring up today, but the interesting thing is Brandon, you mentioned that they did not take over GW Micro in a hostile manner, that is Despero. And from what I read and from what I remember, it's many of the people, was it Doug Giuffre and who was the other guy that made WindowWise? I'm skipping out on his
just
name.
to clarify, I mean, they didn't take over Freedom Scientific in a hostile manner, but I don't know how. They weren't very kind to GW Micro, though.
Yeah, and I do know that from what I heard, that the creators of WindowWise and everyone in the GW Micro building, I guess, had an opportunity to work for Despero in some capacity. But if you go on some of their LinkedIns, which I must not have a life because I did, I think many of them actually worked for Microsoft, and so I found that really interesting.
Well, and I don't blame them, because I mean it again, it looks better because, like what Becca said, JAWS is such a niche product, and I can see they were probably thinking at the time, at least, Microsoft is a corporate conglomerate, so there's probably going to be a lot more mobility for us, more job security for us. So
I would have done it. If I was them, I wouldn't have given it a second glance. I would have.
You would have done the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more job security. Like Brandon's saying, Despero's niche. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows who Microsoft is. Hey, Microsoft charges their consumers $100 for Microsoft 360. So I know I'm still going to get paid because they charge 1 million people or however many people that they charge for that. So I know I'm going to get paid, and I can hopefully live a more cushy lifestyle than if I'm with Despero. So,
well, and Vespero would just look like you're selling out to the enemy. I mean, that would be like Pepsi person going to work for Coca-Cola. I mean, that's not a good look.
Well, they do that. I mean, people go work in racing, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, and they go work for, they might be with the Toyota team and switch over to Chevrolet. Chevrolet is going to give them more money, or vice versa. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that industry has more mass appeal, and it's much more well funded than things in the blindness industry, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to have to read more about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back.
I know I don't need to remind you of what you must already be thinking. What any man in your position would be thinking at this moment.
You scream? Will you try anything? I want to cut up that pretty little face of yours.
Your father thinks he's being a hero. He ain't.
What you need to be asking yourself right now is, am I the kind of man to allow my wife to be violated? Or my young son? Over money? What kind of man are you?
Whatever you came here for, you won't get.
Hey, was that the same show? A different trailer of the same show?
I think it was a different trailer. Gino, want to explain? Ooh, apparently, we have two different trailers. So yeah, you guys just got to see.
That's Invasion. You don't remember?
Is that
No,
Invasion?
we played that last week, I reckon.
Yeah,
didn't we?
Oh, so it is.
But I was drunk last week, so I wasn't here then. I passed out.
I'm always drunk.
Okay, and even if I weren't, even if I didn't pass out, I don't think I'd remember because drunk people, right?
I guess that was Invasion. Yeah. So the first commercial break was our trailer for Baby Backs, and the second commercial break was our trailer for Invasion. Then.
Okay. And so, what's the status of those? Can I go watch what's the status of those?
Gino, would you like to share?
I think you said Baby Backs is still in production, right?
No, we're done with Baby Backs.
We're doing our final sound stuff, but no, both of them are getting out to festivals. They're not going to be available publicly online. We have to go through the festival circuit first. So
Yeah.
it'll be a long time before we put those out publicly.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll do something like where we'll do like everybody can buy online tickets to see Baby Backs or Invasion or Don't Look Now or one of our future projects, you know. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of things we can do with them. So we'll figure it out. But
that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I gotcha. Well, I enjoyed seeing both trailers. I'm interested in watching both. So
yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest, I don't enjoy trailers because I don't understand a damn thing what's going on. It just doesn't really give me a flavor.
Yeah. So for me, I have to see a trailer a few times to really get a lot out of it because they're so quick and there's so much different things to hear in the few moments that they're there, you know. So I like to watch a trailer like 2 or 3 times before I really feel like I got a lot out of it. Because
yeah, and I've noticed, I don't know if it's in English YouTube or not, but I noticed the shows that I watch in Russian, like some podcasts or whatever, what they do, they put like a little trailer in the beginning so that they know pieces of what is going to happen and clip them together. And I'm sitting there for a couple of minutes like, come on, just get to the dang show already. I'm going to hear those parts anyway. Just go.
That happens sometimes. I don't think it's as common though. I have seen that though in certain movies. I think you'll see little clips of it, and then the movie will start. So I think it does happen here, but I don't see that a lot. But admittedly, I don't watch a lot of movies. I will admit to all of y'all and the viewers.
I mean, I watch some. It's hard for me to find TV that I like, but when I do like something, I really like it. And I think for me, it's a lot of the, like, for years now, there's been a lot of the woke mind virus ideology creeping in. And it's like, okay, guys, I don't want to, like, okay, you're gay. Okay, you're black. Okay, whatever. That's fine, you know, but let's not make the whole show about that.
So do you guys watch, watch mostly audio described shows? Do you guys watch a lot of stuff that's not audio described?
I don't watch shows at all in English anyway.
Really?
I'll watch both.
I will watch a movie if it's not audio described. Admittedly, audio described makes things a lot easier, but not every movie is that way, and I will still watch one in the event that it isn't. So, I will still do that. But like I said, admittedly, movies, you know, I listen to a lot more music than I do watch movies, and that's not me trying to say that I'm not going to watch yours. So don't feel like that's what I'm saying.
Oh no. I actually do a lot more reading than watching movies or TV shows. Even now that there's so many audio described things available, I still turn to my audiobooks 90% of the time.
You know, I know a lot of people that still do that. You know, it's interesting because at least a few years ago, I don't know if it's just this way still, but you know, the top selling product for Humanware is their Victor readers, which is, you know, an audio book player. And I think a lot of people still really do enjoy audio books quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Victor reader. I bought a couple of years ago.
Never used one. Seen them.
Well, listen. I just want to point out, see, a lot of people enjoy Audible, blind or not. I don't think it matters. Again, blindness isn't what makes the difference. Hundreds of thousands of people, millions maybe, have Audible subscriptions.
That is
true.
But you have to pay for it. I'm too cheap.
So I have an Audible subscription, but because I have so many audiobooks from NLS downloaded on my Trek, I have a bunch of Audible books in my library I haven't read, and my Audible, what are they called? The Audible, you get credits
or whatever? Yeah.
And you know, every month they give you one free credit, so you can get one free book a month with your membership. And I think from time to time they're giving other free credits away too. But every time I go look at my Audible, it seems like I've got like several credits just sitting there. You know what I mean? I'm like, gosh, I guess I better get some more books, even though I haven't read all the books in my library. Because like I said, I'm listening to Audible books and NLS books and podcasts and the news and Oh, there's so much to.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I don't read multiple books. I'm not one of those people. I know there are people that do that. But not me. I read one book at a time, and when I'm done with that, then I read another book. But I know there are people that are like, "No, I got 2 or 3 books." I'm like, "No,
I
not
am
me."
one of those. I'm what I can do. Depends
Oh
on
yeah, not me.
Now, for me, it depends on the mood. Sometimes you want to just, check out and not to think and just, read some story. Or sometimes you want to read something educational. It depends on how you feel at the moment. So that's why I have several books going.
Does anybody
do
here?
you finish them? Like Becca said, she doesn't finish a lot of hers. Do you finish your books or no?
Depends. Most of the time I do. But
Like
sometimes,
okay.
yeah, I'd say 95% of the time I do finish, actually.
Now, how many people on the panel here have used Bookshare before?
I've been using Bookshare.
Oh, it's been it's been a long time.
Yeah, I used to have a Bookshare subscription. I don't anymore.
I do.
I didn't use it much when I had it.
Brendan, do you use Bookshare?
Well, yeah, I have, and what people used to critique about Bookshare is that the books are read with text-to-speech engine, so they're not human readers reading them. But to me, it's like, okay, well, do you want to read the book or not? Because it's like, look, as a blind person, if I want to read something, I want to read something, and I feel like I'm already at a competitive disadvantage because of my blindness. So it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, I would like a human reader, but some things are not available on Audible or Bard. And Bookshare, you might be able to find more content because they would let people scan in books.
Correct.
Hopefully, they had quality standards. So text to speech isn't a deal breaker for me.
I also have no problem listening to a computer voice deliver a book. I mean, I've been listening to books for so many decades now, always listening to people reading to me instead of being able to read with my eyes. It doesn't matter so much to me if it's a computer voice instead of a man's voice or a woman's voice.
I think it depends on the situation. I mean, if you're reading a very exciting book and there's a lot of thrill and action happening and the person or the computer doesn't put that into the book, it's not going to make you like it as much. You'll get a lot more into it if the person reading it sounds like they're enjoying it or they're putting the anger in the voice, emphasis. I think they're doing, unfortunately, bots now or text to speech for audio described movies. I think, don't quote me on that, because there's a movie that I
just heard that on a movie recently. Yeah, they are,
and I hate it. That I hate, because I have seen audio described movies where they don't do that, and there is a lot more character.
Is it text to speech, or are they using AI to describe the movie?
It sounds like text to speech. I don't remember what voice it was. It was a female voice, but I couldn't remember what name it was for all the blind computer geeks out there. I can't remember which one it was, but it definitely was one. I want to say it was something with acapella maybe, but I definitely recognized and I went, oh yeah, that's a text to speech reading it. And I'd never heard that before, because all the movies I've kind of seen have been 10, 20 years old, audio described. And so they was all kind of audio described by a human, which I think, I appreciated more because they put some emphasis, some enthusiasm in, and that text to speech does not do that. So I'm more for the human for sure. And if I was going to want text to speech, honestly, when it comes to Bookshare, because I remember having an account like that, I would just go put it on my Braille device or my Victor reader and just have my synthesized speech read that instead of getting how'd they do it, MP3? I don't remember how they did it.
Well, I think it's a double-edged
I will
sword.
say. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think it's a double-edged sword. It's good when humans read, but sometimes they're overacting, and sometimes you want to just say, okay, read the gosh darn book. I don't need you to pretend to play character. Let me imagine that character. That's the downside of humans reading. And sometimes they have like thick accents, like English accent or something. I cannot stand British English. It's just terrible. But that's one thing. And one thing I want to say very quick. Bookshare, yes, they have this synthesized voice, which is not bad, I have to say, for its time. But they've been using the same voice for as long as I can remember. So with all these new developments with AI, there are so much better voices out there. And I think they could reconsider and put something better. I know they cannot redo the books that they've done already. Probably it's going to be costly, but with the new books moving forward, I think they should put a better voice, less computer sounding. And I was going to that.
I think I did.
And on that note, I know Netflix does, and I was the one who asked you guys, "Are you guys going to cancel Netflix?" So I'm not advocating for or against, but I know Netflix did say the people that they do use to audio describe their movies, they do try to get people that are into that movie, that have a vested interest in that movie. But I don't know if Hulu and Prime Video and Paramount Plus, I don't know if they all also have that philosophy, but that's what Netflix said anyway.
Yeah, I'm not super positive, but the synthesized voice admittedly was annoying me when it came down to the movie that I seen a couple of days ago. It was annoying me because A, I was trying to figure out whose voice that was, which voice that was, and then B, there was no inflection at all. And if you're going to have something kind of narrate, I do want inflection. You don't have to go, oh, the squirrel's gonna jump off the bridge. You don't have to do that. But if you go, oh, the squirrel's gonna jump off the bridge, then that gets me more enthralled with what's gonna happen versus the squirrel jumps off the bridge. You're like, oh.
Yeah. That was a good impersonation. That is what it sounds like. Yeah.
But see, it's so personalized. You'd like one thing, somebody likes the other thing. So, and that's why I think if it's AI voice versus human reader, could be better with this new AI voices that we have today.
Oh, I agree with you, Anya. AI voices are getting more and more human-like. That is true. So I think that would be nice if Bookshare would do that, because it's still like, but again, see, you got to be careful because, Bookshare wouldn't have to be careful, but like Bard, right now they pay human readers.
Alexa, stop.
Eliminate that cost.
Yeah, that's where my concern would lie is, does AI eliminate, Bruce Hunty? That's a Bard reader, right? Did they eliminate him? I don't even know if he does it anymore. He used to back in the day. Do they eliminate him or, whoever else there is reading books for, say, Bard? That's ultimately the question. So.
Yeah, but
you gotta be careful.
Not using voices, human voices anyway. So I think it would be good if they started people right now for these positions. And I wanted to ask them that question, but at convention, like at the exhibit hall, the line was so dang long. It was so loud. I was like, you know what? Forget it.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time.
Yeah.
Well, can I just let you all know really quick? For any of you guys that are pro THC products, they're trying to ban hemp-derived THC products. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but my concern, I don't use them, but
Brandon, what have you heard about this exactly? Who is pushing to get rid of hemp products?
Well, I'm not trying to start a fight here, but so it's interesting because it was slipped in when the government reopened, apparently.
Oh,
right?
And
a lot of the people that did it are from the alcohol industry, and so I don't use a lot of hemp-derived THC products, but I do think that it could have, effects on, because like I am very pro people using like CBD oil to relieve anxiety or reduce pain or something like that. And so any company that's using hemp-derived CBD stuff, see, that could be affected. And I think it might affect a lot of independent smoke shops and stuff. And that's concerning. So
where did you hear this information?
I just saw it today I have a news app called Smart News, and it was one of the top stories today. It was published like 6 hours ago.
Okay.
So,
wow. but
THC content in weed or what? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, any kind of hemp-derived THC, they're severely limiting. So, but they're not going to. Yeah, you guys have like a year. You have like until this time next year.
And then it's going to become illegal again, basically, and so we'll have to start buying it from people on the street again. That's all right. I still have my old dealer's number. I actually have 2 or 3 dealers from before it was legal. I think I still have their
Okay.
information. So.
All right.
Well, I don't care. Like, I don't smoke weed. I don't give a damn about weed. So if it goes away, I won't cry. I promise. But I do hear somebody asked our gubernatorial candidate about legalization of marijuana in Kansas, and his answer was that today's THC content is so high, like it's nothing even close to what people had in the 70s and the 60s. So it really messes people up. People become really dumber. And I'm sorry, that's just the fact.
Yeah, that is true.
So I mean, if they start restricting it, I'm okay with that, or lowering the content.
Yeah.
Well, and they
Lowering
said
the
hemp-derived THC, so I don't know, but it's just I know a lot of people use THC products, right? And I'm saying even for like pain relief or anxiety, so I don't know. It's just that's become very, very commonplace, and so it was just weird that. I mean, almost nobody noticed, right? Like, I didn't notice. I didn't hear anything about it, but they snuck it in when the government reopened. It's like, oh, I wonder what else they snuck in.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I wonder what else they snuck in. So, is there a place online that Americans can go and read this thing they just passed?
Oh, I'm sure if you just do a Google search for, hemp-derived THC ban, you'll get some results. Because it was on a news app that I found it. So
interesting. Well, as we are almost at the end of the show, I was going to ask. Next week. I mean, is Thanksgiving. Are we guys having a show on Wednesday still?
I don't know, Gino, you're our admin.
We haven't talked about it. I don't know what everybody's plan is. So,
do we want to do a vote? Do we want to do a vote right now? See who wants to do a show next Wednesday. Everybody in favor, say aye.
I'm okay.
I'm available.
Okay, we'll do a show next
So
Wednesday.
everybody except for Brandon then? Or did Brandon say?
Brandon's going to get drunk. He's going to start early.
Yeah.
He's going to start early. He's not going to be there. Well,
no, I mean, I do kind of vote that we take a break, but I'm outvoted. So maybe I'll be here, maybe I won't. I'm not quite sure what we're doing yet. But.
Yeah, nobody's required to show up, so I just
right.
It sounds like we will be having a show though, so that'll be great.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this evening. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can email us at beccameadows76@gmail.com. And please join us again next week. Everybody have a great week. Peace out, y'all. That's a wrap.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.